It's the pregame show for Cleveland Indians baseball. After sweeping the Chicago White Sox last weekend, Kansas City came to town, and Tuesday night was Gaylord Perry's first start after his shoulder injury. He faced off against Paul Splittorff, and Cleveland took a quick 2-0 lead in that game. Kansas City put a run on the board in the sixth, and then they went ahead in the eighth, 3-2. And in the bottom of the eighth, with 2 outs, Ray Fosse walked, took second on a wild pitch, and scored on Frank Duffy's double to tie the game. Both sides went 3 up, 3 down in the ninth, so the game went into extra innings. And with 1 out, Amos Otis doubled for the Royals, but Perry was able to get Lou Piniella and John Mayberry to ground out. So in the bottom of the 10th, with 1 out, Alex Johnson singled. And he scored when Roy Foster doubled, winning the game for Cleveland. Frank Duffy went 4 for 4 Tuesday with a double. Alex Johnson went 2 for 4. Gaylord Perry came back with a complete game 10-inning win. And he looked pretty good Tuesday night. Looked like that shoulder tweak he had no effect on his pitching. The next night, Dick Tidrow pitched for the Indians. Tidrow is a rookie, and he had trouble in his first 2 starts and looked really good in his next 2 starts. Start number 5, he got off to a really rough start. With nobody out in the top of the first, the Royals loaded the bases, and Amos Otis scored on Ed Kirkpatrick's sacrifice fly. So it's 1-0 Kansas City. Cookie Rojas followed that with a 3-run homer, making it 4-0 Kansas City. Then Joe Keough doubled, and Paul Shaw hit a 2-run homer, making it 6-0 Kansas City. Then Tidrow struck out the next 2 hitters. I read an interview that Tidrow gave right around this time in 1972, and he said that he generally has the most trouble in his starts in the first inning and possibly with the first batter he faces in an inning. So the Indians dugout, they're Ken Aspermani and Warren Spahn are like kind of clenching their jaws. They got Vince Colbert ready to go, and they decided, let's see how Tidrow handles this. If he has trouble in the second inning, he'll come out. Well, he threw perfect innings in the second and third, walked the leadoff hitter in the fourth, then got 3 consecutive outs. And he didn't really make a mistake again until the 5th inning when Ed Kirkpatrick hit a solo home run. Ed Kirkpatrick, I don't know what it is with that guy, but he plays like a Hall of Famer against the Indians. And going into the bottom of the eighth, Kansas City's leading 7-0. And the Indians finally, their bats finally come alive. I should note we're facing Dick Drago, and then he came out after a rain delay of about 45 minutes in the sixth inning. So they're facing Tom Murphy and Tom Bergmeyer in the last two innings. And in the eighth, Fred Stanley singles. He's in as a defensive replacement. Stanley's been like practically a non-entity on the 72 team. He came up in May of 71. He was having a great season coming out of Wichita. Then he had to leave for a couple weeks of military duty, and he was never able to get back on track after that. Then another defensive replacement, Jack Brohammer, singled. Del Unser singles. The Indians load the bases, nobody out. Chambliss singles, that scores a run. Nettles grounds into a double play, that scores another run. And then another seldom used young player, John Lowenstein, hits a two-run homer. That knocks Murphy out of the game. And the inning ends after Bergmeyer comes in and Ray Fosse flies out. So suddenly it's going into the ninth inning and Kansas City's still leading, but it's 7-4. The Royals in the ninth load the bases with nobody out. The Indians draw the infield in, and Cookie Rojas, who had hit the three-run homer in the first, grounds to Frank Duffy, and that leads to a shortstop to catcher to first base double play, a 6-2-3 double play. And Joe Keogh grounded out to end the inning. That was Ed Farmer pitching for the Indians. Because after the rain delay, Steve Hargan and Ed Farmer pitched in relief for Cleveland. They both did a good job. Bottom of the ninth, okay, the Indians are down by 3. Buddy Bell leads off with a single. Then Tom McCraw pinch hits. And in his second consecutive pinch hitting appearance, he hits a home run. So it's a two-run homer. It's 7-6 Kansas City. Fred Stanley pops out. Jack Brohammer grounds out. So Kansas City's 1 out away from getting away with the win. Then Del Unser walks. Chris Chambliss singles. Nettles walks. So with 2 outs, Indians are down by 1. They have the bases loaded. And they have John Lowenstein up. John Lowenstein, who hit a two-run homer in the 8th. But Lowenstein is called out on strikes. So Kansas City wins the game 7-6. Tidrow's first inning performance wasn't good. I'm not saying that it was, but he pitched good after that. And the Indians were able to put together an offensive attack that led to a fairly impressive comeback, even though they came up a run short. That dropped the Indians' season record at 10-9. And Kansas City, they are hot. They're 12-9. This game made it 12-9. Made them their record 12-9. So they're off on Thursday, and then last night Texas comes to town. This is Cleveland fans getting their first look at the Texas Rangers team. And it is two young pitchers. Milt Wilcox for the Indians, who came over from the Reds. In the deal for Ted Uhlaender. And Pete Broberg, who was the Washington Senators' #1 draft pick and came right to the Senators, now Rangers, off the campus of Dartmouth. And for Wilcox, pitches an excellent game for Cleveland. He just has one hiccup, really, and that's in the second inning. Ted Ford, former member of the Cleveland Indians, homers, hits a solo home run. That's his second home run against Cleveland this season. So going to the bottom of the seventh, Texas is holding the slimmest leads, 1-0. Let's see. They were going pretty wild on the base pad. They had 3 runners out caught trying to steal. And it looks like they only got 2 runners in the scoring position during the game. But in the bottom of the seventh, Frank Duffy leads off with a walk. Then Jack Hammer flies out. Then Tom McCraw pinch hitting doubles. He is an extremely hot pinch hitter right now. That scores Frank Duffy and ties the game. So we go through 9, and by now it is Ray Lamb pitching against Paul Lindblad. And in the bottom of the 9th, Jim Panther comes in a pitch. He snuffs out a rally. So it's 1-1. In the 10th inning, Ted Ford hits his second homer of the game, second solo home run of the game. He led off the second inning with his home run. Leads off the 10th inning with a home run. So it's 2-1 Texas. Now, this is the kind of thing I would see a lot in the 1971 season. Good pitching performance, and the bullpen lets them down. And this is a game that the Indians probably would lose. But in the bottom of the 10th, Horacio Pena comes in to pitch for Texas. He's hot as a relief pitcher right now, and he's a former member of the Indians. With 1 out, John Lowenstein, who hit a 2-run home run on Wednesday, pinch hits, and he walks. Greg Nettles strikes out, so the Indians are an out away from a loss. Then Alex Johnson doubles. That scores Lowenstein, ties the game. Fossey grounds out, he ends the inning. Denny Riddleberger comes in a pitch for Cleveland. Pitches a perfect 11th against Texas. Denny Riddleberger is really inconsistent this year. And he had pitched for Washington. He came over from Washington/Texas along with Del Unser. So he probably knows some of these guys that he's pitching against. So in the bottom of the 11th, with one out, Frank Duffy doubles. Eddie Leon grounds out. Duffy advances to third. And then Tom McCraw comes up, hits a two-run homer to win the game. That's his third homer in 5 days. Or 6 days, I believe. I don't remember if he homered to end the game on Saturday or on Sunday last week, but he ended one of the games against the White Sox with a pinch hit home run. So he's really hot right now. Indians win. They raise their record to 11-9. They're in second place in the American League East, 3 games behind the Baltimore Orioles, who are 14-6. And let me see, Cleveland is 1-3 against or 1-2 against Baltimore this year. And they will be taking a trip to Baltimore at the end of May, so in about 2 weeks. So the Indians are actually playing pretty good ball right now. They won 6 out of their last 10. And before they lost on Wednesday, they had a 5-game winning streak. And they've won 6 out of their last 7. Some other Cleveland sporting news. The Cavaliers' first round draft pick, Dwight Davis, he was the 3rd overall pick, signed with the Cavs. He's from out of Houston. He had also been drafted by the Floridians of the ABA, but he chose to sign with the Cavs. And in another week and a half or so, it's believed that the NHL is going to announce their latest round of expansion. The NHL is expanding this upcoming season. They're starting play in Atlanta and Long Island. And they announced that they're choosing 2 new cities to expand into for the 1973-1974 season. All this is suspected to be to help in their battle to compete with the WHA, which is going to be starting play in October. And the 4 cities that were announced that are in the running for an expansion team are Cleveland, held the bid that Nick Milletti made, Washington, D.C., Denver, and Kansas City. And Cleveland is seen as being a possible front runner among those 4 teams because they have a long history of hockey with the American Hockey League Cleveland Barons, which Milletti owns. And he also owns the Cleveland Arena. Now, that said, the WHA already has 2 franchises that had to drop out. Miami, because they couldn't get a arena financed in time. And Calgary, who their ownership group couldn't come up with the initiation fee to enter the league. They were given an extra 2 weeks to get it, couldn't do it, so they've been dropped. So in Cleveland, we're going to keep an eye on that situation. All right, we'll be right back with today's game between the Cleveland Indians and the Texas Rangers. It's Cleveland Indians baseball. It's Saturday, May 13th, 1972. We're at Cleveland Stadium for today's game between the Rangers and the Indians. Mike Paul starts for Texas. He's made 2 starts on the year. He is 0-2 with an ERA of 4.86. He came over to Texas from Cleveland during the offseason in the trade that brought Del Unser and Denny Riddleberger to Cleveland. This is his first start against the Indians. He'll be opposed by Gaylord Perry. This is his 5th start. Or he's made 5 starts, I'm sorry. He is 3-2 with an ERA of 2.70. This is his first start against Texas. It's 66 degrees here in Cleveland. Wind speed is 7 miles an hour. In from right center, so the wind is blowing out toward the lake. Texas's starting lineup will be Dave Nelson leading off. He'll be playing third base. Batting second to shortstop, Toby Harrah. Batting third to catcher, Dick Billings. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Don Mincher. Batting fifth to right fielder, Ted Ford. He hit 2 home runs last night. Batting sixth to left fielder, Tom Grieve. Batting seventh to center fielder, Joe Lovito. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Len Randall. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Mike Paul. On defense, Cleveland has Chris Chambliss at first base, Eddie Leon at second, Frank Duffy at shortstop, Greg Nettles at third, Alex Johnson in left, Del Unser in center, Buddy Bell in right. The catcher is Ray Fosse, and on the mound, Gaylord Perry. Perry's a record of 3-2 with the Indians, an ERA of 2.70. He's pitched 46 and 2/3 innings, giving up 41 hits. 2 of those are home runs. He has walked 8, struck out 29. He mixes it up, fastball, some assorted curves. He has a forkball, and allegedly the spitball and greaseball. Tends to keep it down low. Doesn't give up many home runs. Last season he was 16-15 with the Giants. The year before that he was 25-11. And 19-14 at 69. He has a lifetime record of 139 wins and 100 losses. He is already becoming a fan favorite in Cleveland. Leading off for Texas is Dave Nelson, former member of the Cleveland Indians. Nelson's hitting .302 with 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. And he has 11 stolen bases. Here's the first pitch. Change up, too high, ball one. Ball two. Lays down a bunt. Perry has it, throws to Leone, covering, 1 out. Perry's gotten off to a good start with Cleveland. And then against the Royals on April 28th, he injured his shoulder making an off-balance throw to first. And he was out for almost 2 weeks. He made his next start on May 9th, which was Tuesday, and he pitched a 10-inning complete game. Got the win. One out. This will bring up Toby Harrah, shortstop, hitting .253. No home runs, 3 runs batted in. Spoiler alert, Toby Harrah, future member of the Cleveland Indians. The 0-2 pitch. Fly ball down the left field line. Johnson's after it, but that makes the seats. Count remains 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 1 for Gaylord Perry. That brings up the catcher, Dick Billings. Billings is hitting .244. No home runs, 7 runs batted in. Texas right now is 8-13. They're in last place in the American League West. That record would have them in 4th place in the AL East. There are 3 teams in the AL East, the Yankees, Red Sox, and Brewers, that have a worse record than the Rangers. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nothing across for Texas in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Rangers nothing, Indians coming to bat. Indians batting order will be leading off the center fielder, Del Unser. Batting second to first baseman, Chris Chambliss. Batting third, the third baseman, Greg Nettles. Batting fourth, the left fielder, Alex Johnson. Batting fifth, the catcher, Ray Fosse. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Buddy Bell, the rookie. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Frank Duffy. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Eddie Leone. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Gaylord Perry. On defense, Texas has Don Mincher at first, Len Randall at second, Toby Harrah at short, Dave Nelson at third, Tom Grieve in left, Joe Lovito in center, Ted Ford in right, Dick Billings catching, and on the mound, Mike Paul. Mike Paul is a fastball pitcher. Came over from the Cleveland Indians. He keeps the ball low. He has a record of 0-2. Last season with the Indians, he started the season in Wichita and came up in July and ended up with a record of 8-2 with a 3.25 ERA. Of all the Indians pitchers last year, he had the most success, and he was only up there for a half a season. He came up with the Indians in 1968. And he has a lifetime record of 19 wins, 17 losses, and 5 saves. His last outing was against Baltimore on May 10th, where he went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits and 2 runs, and he came away with a no decision. Texas lost that game 8-7. Leading off is Del Unser, the center fielder. He's hitting 267. No home runs, 7 runs batted in. He came over to Cleveland as part of that deal for Mike Paul. Let's review that deal. I should remember the specifics of it, but I don't. I apologize. There were a lot of people involved in that deal. Yeah, the Indians traded Roy Foster, Rich Hand, and Ken Suarez to Texas, along with Mike Paul, for Gary Jones, Terry Lee. They're both in the minors. Denny Riddleberger and Del Unser. And then Roy Foster ended up being traded back to Cleveland from Texas for Ted Ford. That was, I believe that was during the strike. So Roy Foster was a member of the Texas Rangers without ever having actually put on a Rangers uniform. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fly ball in the center field. Joe Levito's there, and he's got it. 1 out. It's a clear day with some sun here, but it's chilly off the lake. If we had been at this game, I don't know if we were or not. My dad would have made me bring a jacket. Here's Chris Chambliss, the first baseman. Sitting 324, no home runs, 7 runs batted in. Chambliss was the Rookie of the Year in the American League last season. The 0-1 pitch. Base hit in the left field. Grieve throws it back in. And that's the first hit of the game. They are just underway at Shea Stadium, the Giants and the Mets. Last night, the newest member of the New York Mets, Willie Mays, debuted going 3 for 4 with a single, double, and a triple. That brings up Greg Nettles. Nettles is hitting 253, 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Not quite, he's having a decent season. Not quite the season he had last year, but that may have been a career year for him. Mike Paul with the first pitch, fastball, ball 1. Fastball, that's a base hit in the right field. Mitchell let that get past him, but Ted Ford came up with it. Ted Ford's primary job as a member of the Cleveland Indians last year was as a defensive replacement. And he also got some time in the outfield when Ted Uhlaender was injured. But mainly he was a defensive specialist in the Indians, especially in left field. That brings up Alex Johnson. Johnson's hitting 228. 1 home run, 7 runs batted in. Johnson got off to a bit of a slow start in April, but he has been hitting pretty good in May. Swing and a miss on a fastball, strike 1. Another fastball outside, ball 1. Ray Fosse's on deck. Swing and a miss on a changeup, strike 2. Too high, ball 2. Count evens at 2-2. High and away, ball 3. He works at full. It's a liner into center field, right at Levito. And he makes a catch. 2 outs. That brings up Ray Fosse. Fosse's hitting 172. 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. He's been having trouble getting on track with the bat this season. He's 2 for 23 in the month of May. But he says it's the first time since the first half of the 1970 season that he's playing without pain. So I'm expecting him to break out and suddenly get hot. High and outside, ball one. Fouls it back, strike one. High and inside, ball two. Pops it up on the infield. Hara takes charge. That's 3 outs. The Indians get no runs, 2 hits, no errors. They left 2 men on base. We played 1 here in Cleveland, no score. It's the middle of the order facing Gaylord Perry in the second. Don Mincher, Ted Ford, and Tom Grieve. Don Mincher's hitting .293, 3 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Mincher came up with the original Washington Senators, went with them to Minnesota. Then he spent 2 seasons playing for the California Angels. Went to Seattle in the 1969 expansion draft. Then in 1970, played for Oakland. And last season, he started with Oakland and was traded to Washington mid-season. He had some big homer years. His last big homer year was in 1970. He had 33 with Oakland. And then in 1971, between his time with Oakland and Washington, he only hit 3 home runs. And he has 3 this season. He's 34 years old, so it might just be the process of age having caught up with him. The 0-2 pitch. Little grounder back to the mound. Perry throws him out. 1 out. Perry made sure to get himself set there. That brings up Ted Ford, former member of the Cleveland Indians. Ford's hitting .279. 6 home runs, 11 runs batted in. 3 of those home runs are against the Indians. He had 2 last night. Against the Indians, he's hitting .364. He's 4 for 11 with 3 home runs. When asked about it, he said, I got nothing against the Indians. I like the Indians and I like their organization. I thought they treated me well. And I would have liked to stayed with the Indians. But I'm playing for a manager, Ted Williams, who has faith in my ability. And I think I'm doing all right for him. And Williams agrees. Williams said he likes having Ford around. He's very hardworking, and he really takes to instruction. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's strikeout number 3 for Gaylord Perry. That brings up Tom Grieve, the left fielder. He's hitting .172. 1 home run and 2 runs batted in. Grieve got into 38 games with the Senators last year. And he was called up the day after the season started. I think from Denver. I think that Rangers' top farm club is in Denver this year. Because Ted Ford started the season in Denver as well. He was called up. He was called up on April 26th. That was right around the time that former member of the Indians, Rich Hand, was called up, pitcher. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. That's strikeout number 4 for Perry. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. In the second inning for the Indians, it will be Buddy Bell, Frank Duffy, and Eddie Leone. Buddy Bell, the rookie right fielder, hitting .234, no home runs, 7 runs batted in. He is quickly becoming a fan favorite here in Cleveland. It's a little blooper to third base. Nelson's there and he's got it. Bell looks like a kid who walked off of some local high school team. That brings up Frank Duffy, the shortstop. Sitting .333, no home runs, 8 runs batted in. He's hot right now. He is hitting .536, 15 for 28 in the month of May. He has, 6-game hitting streak. He had 4 hits Tuesday against Kansas City. He's 4 for 4. He was 2 for 3 last night. Yeah, he's hot. He has raised his batting average from, during his hitting streak, he's raised his batting average from 174 to 292. The 2-2 pitch. It's a hard grounder to second. Randall throws. Mitchell jumps. It's over its head. And they're awarding Frank Duffy second base. Excuse me, that's error number 6 on the season for Len Randall. So 1 out, runner on second. Duffy is also a threat to steal. He's not going to steal a lot of bases for, I don't think, but when the opportunity arises, he'll go for it. Here's Eddie Leone, the shortstop, or the second baseman. Leone is platooning with Jack Brohammer right now. Leone's hitting .163, no home runs, 3 runs batted in. He got off to a real slow start in April, but he's hitting .263 in May. He's hitting better than Brohammer, but I think Brohammer is better defensive second baseman. Gaylord Perry's on deck. Fastball, that bounced to the plate, ball 1. It's a grounder to first. Mincher's up with it, he'll take it himself. 2 outs. Duffy advances to third. That brings up the pitcher, Gaylord Perry. He's hitting .167. He's 2 for 12 with a double. No home runs and 2 runs batted in. So he's not completely a pushover at the plate. Hunter's on deck. Ball outside. Billings can't handle it. Gets past him. Duffy scores. They're calling that a pass ball, so it's 1-0 Cleveland. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Strike 1. Change up high and away. Ball 2. Swing and a miss on another fastball. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Strike 3 called. First strikeout of the game for Mike Paul, but the Indians get 1 run. No hits, 1 error. No one left. We played 2 innings here in Cleveland. It is Cleveland 1, Texas nothing. Yeah, I thought so. They're calling that an unearned run. So we go to the top of the third, and it'll be the bottom third of the Rangers lineup. Joe Lovito, Lenny Randle, and Mike Paul. Joe Lovito, the center fielder, is hitting .294, no home runs, 5 runs batted in. Hitting .273 against right-handers. It's a 2-0 pitch, fly ball in the right field. Buddy Bell's there, and he's got it, 1 out. That brings up the second baseman, Lenny Randle. Randle's hitting .173, no home runs, 3 runs batted in. The 2-2 pitch. Base hit in the right center. Randle rounds first. He's going for second. He is safe with a stand-up double. It's his second double of the year. He's quick because Buddy Bell has a good arm out in right field. That brings up the pitcher, Mike Paul. Mike Paul is hitting .167. He's 1 for 6. He looks at strike 1. In the dirt, ball 1. Low and away, ball 2. Fork ball 3. Grounder to first. Nettles, who was playing in for the bunt, has it. He'll take it himself. 2 outs. Randle moves to third. That brings up Dave Nelson, who is .0 for 1 today. He was out in the first inning, bunting to Gaylord Perry. It's a bouncer to third. Nettles has it to throw. In time, 3 outs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the third. Cleveland 1, Texas nothing. It's top of the order for the Indians in the third. Del Unser leads off. He's 0 for 1. He flied out to Joe Lovito in the first. The 0-2 pitch. Grounder to third. Nettles to his left. Nelson. Throws him out. 1 out. It brings up Chris Chambliss, who's 1 for 1. He singled back in the first. Liner down the left field line. That makes it into the corner. Chambliss dives in the second. He's safe with a double. Second hit of the game for Chambliss. That brings up Greg Nettles. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the first. Nettles is hitting just .194 in May. Curveball, low and inside, ball 1. Fouls it back. Foul tip, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball 2. Fouls that one back. Count remains 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 outs. That brings up Alex Johnson, who's 0 for 1. He lined out to Joe Lovito in the first. Too high, ball 1. Fly ball in center field. Levito over to his right near the wall, and he's got it. 3 outs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We played 3 here at Cleveland Stadium. Cleveland 1, Texas nothing. And we're looking around the league at Shea Stadium, still no score between the Giants and the Mets. I don't have any reports if Willie Mays is playing today. He debuted for the Mets last night. That is Cleveland native Steve Stone. Well, he's from South Euclid, one of Cleveland's east side suburbs, pitching against Buzz Capra for the Mets. Top of the 4th for Texas will be Toby Harrah, Dick Billings, and Don Mincher. Toby Harrah is 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. The 0-1 pitch. Base hit in the left center. Harrah rounds first. He's diving for second. He slides. He's safe. That's his second double of the year. Second hit for Texas. They've both been doubles. That brings up Dick Billings, the catcher. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. Sitting 286 with runners in scoring position. That was too high. Ball 1. Right down the middle. Strike 1. Just outside. Ball 2. Check the swing. They call it. Strike 2. Grounder back to the mound. Perry looks Harrah back. Throws this first for the out. 1 out. That brings up Don Mincher, who's 0 for 1. He grounded to Perry back in the second inning. Inside, ball 1. Off the plate, ball 2. Curveball, strike 1 called. Too low, ball 3. Grounder to third. Nettles, he looks the runner back, throws the first. 2 outs. And that brings up Ted Ford, former Indian. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the second inning. Strike 1 called. In fact, Ted Ford's trade was so late that I think it did take place while the strike was going on, that it took place after the season would have started on April 4th. That his baseball card for 1972 has him as a member of the Indians. Just below the knees and inside, ball 2. Fly ball in left field. Down the line, Johnson is in foul territory, but it makes the seats. Outside, ball 3, full count. Ball 4. It's high and away. That's first walk of the game given up by Perry. That brings up Tom Grieve. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the second inning. Up and away, ball 1. Low and inside, ball 2. Swing and a miss on the changeup, strike 1. Swing and a miss on a fastball, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Liner down to third base line, it's foul. Swing and a miss, strike 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Cleveland 1, Texas nothing. For the Indians in the 4th, it will be Ray Fosse, Buddy Bell, and Frank Duffy. Ray Fosse is 0 for 1. He popped out to Toby Harrah in the first. Sitting just 071 against Texas. Leinert, third base, and Nelson has it, 1 out. That brings up Buddy Bell, who's 0 for 1. He lined at Dave Nelson back in the second. The 1-1 pitch. Another liner to third. Nelson has it. 2 outs. Here's Frank Duffy, who's 0 for 1. He was safe on an error in the second. And he eventually came around to score on a pass ball. He's a 6-game hitting streak right now. The 1-2 pitch. Grounder to first. Mincher kicks it. Oh! Duffy is safe on Mincher's error. That's Mincher's first error of the year. So that brings up Eddie Leon, who's 0 for 1. He grounded to Mincher in the second. That moved Frank Duffy to third. Too low, ball 1 on the curveball. Fastball, ball 2. Just a bit high, ball 3. Ball 4. That moves runners to first and second. 2 outs. That brings up Gaylord Perry. Perry is 0 for 1. He struck out in the second inning. Caught the inside corner. Strike 1 with the fastball. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Low and away. Ball 3. Or ball 1. Liner down the left field line. That's foul. Mike Paul is pitching pretty much the way he pitched for Cleveland last year. Like I said before, he was the best pitcher on the team once he came back from Wichita. Strike 3 called. Paul worked himself out of a jam there. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. We played 4 in Cleveland. It is Cleveland 1, Texas nothing. Yeah, Paul last year, he got hurt in spring training and was unhappy to find out that he was starting the season in Wichita. But he made the most of it, pitching for Ken Aspromonte, who's now the Indians manager. He came up to Cleveland, I think, around July 4th. And he had a good season on the mound. He's the only pitcher I could say that about that had a really good season with Cleveland last year. For Texas in the 5th, the bottom of the order, leading off is the center fielder Joe Levito, who's 0 for 1. He flat out the Buddy Bell in the 3rd. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's strikeout number 6 for Gaylord Perry. I believe Dick Tidrow will be pitching for Cleveland tomorrow, and let's see, it might be Dick Bosman for Texas. Dick Bosman, another future member of the Cleveland Indians. That brings up Len Randall. He is 1 for 1 with a double. He had the Rangers' first hit of the game. The 1-1 pitch. Grounder up the middle. Duffy to his left, has it, and throws him out. 2 outs. That brings up Mike Paul, who's 0 for 1. He grounded to Chambliss in the third. That advanced Lenny Randle to third. That was a that was a short rally that Perry was able to squelch. Grounder to second. Eddie Leon is there. Throws him out. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's an official game here in Cleveland. Cleveland leads 1-0. In the 5th inning for Cleveland, it'll be the top of the order. Unser, Chambliss, and Nettles. Del Unser is 0 for 2 today. The 0-1 pitch. Grounder to first. Mincher has it. Tosses to Paul, covering first. 1 out. Here's Chris Chambliss. He's 2 for 2. He had a single in the first, and he doubled in the third. He's hitting .317 in May. He's having a good year. The 2-1 pitch. Fly ball into center field. Levito's after it. It's off the wall. Chambliss is in with a stand-up double. It's his 3rd hit of the day and his 2nd double. That brings up Greg Nettles, who's 1 for 2. He singled in the first. He struck out in the third. Billings goes to confer with Mike Paul. Breaking ball, ball 1. Grounder to first. Mincher bobbles it, but he has it. Gets control of it. Takes it to first. 2 outs. Chambliss moves to third. Yeah, Mike Paul said that even though Ted Williams doesn't like pitchers, he said that Williams is treating him well. And that he thinks that Paul's pitching better than his stats would indicate. Here's Alex Johnson. He's 0 for 2. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 1. Whenever I see stories of in the contemporary news, like 1972 news, I always keep a special eye out when I read about what the former member of the Indians are doing. High, ball 1. Grounder to first. Mincher has it. He'll take it himself. 3 outs, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 left. We played 5 here in Cleveland. It's the Indians 1, the Rangers nothing. The Indians have 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. They've left 6 men on base. Texas has no runs, 2 hits, 2 errors. They've left 3 men on base. Cleveland scored in the second with 1 out. Frank Duffy was safe on second. On an error. That was an error on Lenny Randle. Then Eddie Leon grounded to first. And Duffy moved to third. And then Duffy scored on a pass ball when Gaylord Perry was hitting. And that's been the extent of the scoring so far. In the 6th inning for Texas, it will be the top of the order. Nelson, Hara, and Billings. Nelson is 0 for 2 today. Dave Nelson, he was the first base coach during the Indians' best years of 95 and 96. I don't think he was there by 97. And he would be shown on TV a lot because of how many Indians runners got on first base. And my sister, she would always sit there, I love that Davy Nelson. Love that Davy Nelson. I don't know why she did, but she loved that Davy Nelson. My most vivid memory of Dave Nelson as a first base coach would be having somebody that wasn't a good base runner like Manny Ramirez or Omar Vizquel on first, and he'd be pointing to second base. That's where you go next. The 1-0 pitch. Bouncer to first. Chambliss has it. He'll take it himself. 1 out. Here's Toby Harrah. He's 1 for 2 with a double. So far, Gaylord Perry's given up 2 hits, and they've both been doubles. The 0-2 pitch. Grounder to short. Duffy to his right. Backhands it. Throws the first. 2 outs. That brings up the catcher, Dick Billings. He's 0 for 2. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That is strikeout number 7 for Gaylord Perry. Nothing across in the top of the 6th. Go to the bottom of the 6th. It is Cleveland 1, Texas nothing. It'll be Ray Fosse, Buddy Bell, and Frank Duffy for the Indians. Ray Fosse is 0 for 2 today. The 0-1 pitch. Liner into left field, base hit, gets to the wall. Fosse slides into second with a double. That brings up Buddy Bell. He's 0 for 2 today. It's a shallow fly ball into left field. Harrah going back. Grieve coming in. He's got it. 1 out. Frank Duffy, he's 0 for 2. He's been on base twice, though. Safe on an error by Randall in the 2nd. Safe on an error by Mincher in the 4th. He scored the only run of the game on a pass ball. Inside, ball 1. Down and away, ball 2. Caught the outside corner, strike 1. That caught the outside corner, strike 2. Base hit in the left field. Fosse rounds third. Oh, Bobby Hoffman, coach, holds him up. So we have runners at the corners. 1 out. Ignore the drum. John Adams, the Cleveland Indians drummer, did not appear at Cleveland Stadium until 1973. Here's Eddie Leon. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Strike 1. Low and outside. Ball 1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Inside. Ball 2. 2 balls. 2 strikes. Pitch gets away from Billings. Fosse scores. Duffy moves to second. That's a wild pitch. It's 2-0 Cleveland. Full count. Foul tip. Ball 4. Runners on first and second. 1 out. That brings up Gaylord Perry. He's 0 for 2. He struck out in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. They're playing him for the bunt. Barry lays one down, but that's foul. Strike one. Lays another bunt down. Mincher has it. He only plays the first. He throws a Randall covering. 2 outs. Leone and Duffy advance on the sacrifice. That brings up Del Unser. He is 0 for 3 today. Changeup, high and inside, ball one. Hits a grounder to second. Randall has it, throws him out. The Indians get 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They left 2 men on base. We go to the 7th inning. It is Cleveland 2, Texas nothing. It's the heart of the order for Texas in the 7th. Don Mincher, Ted Ford, and Tom Grieve. Don Mincher is 0 for 2 today. The 1-1 pitch. Fly ball into right field. Bell takes a couple steps back. Oh, he dropped it. Mincher takes second. That's Buddy Bell's first error of the year. That brings up Ted Ford. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Hit 2 home runs last night. He's hitting .294 against right-handers this year. That was across the knee, strike one. Hits a fly ball into left center. Alex Johnson's over. He has it. 1 out. That brings up Tom Grieve. He's 0 for 2 today. Struck out twice. Outside and low, ball 1. Ball 2. Caught the outside corner, strike 1. Just caught the inside corner, strike 2. It's a fly ball in the left field. Alex Johnson's there, and he has it. 2 outs. That brings up Joe Lovito. He's 0 for 2 today. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Ooh, spitball, question mark. Strike 2 called. Ted Williams barking a little bit, him and his pitching coach, Sid Hudson. Spitball again. Low and away, ball 1. Grease ball? I don't know. Grounder to first. Chambliss has it. He'll take it himself. 3 outs. No runs. No hits, 1 error, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Cleveland 2. Texas nothing. Let's take a look around the league again. Top of the 7th at Shea Stadium. Giants 2, Mets 2. Tommy Agee hit his 5th home run of the year for the Mets. That is Cleveland native Steve Stone for the Giants against Buzz Capper for the Mets. I remember one year, I think it might have been 1974, that Buzz Capper was the last card I needed to complete my baseball card set. One year it was Buzz Capper, one year it was Billy Grabarkowitz. I think it was Capper in 74 and Grabarkowitz in 75. Top of the 4th in Minnesota, Brewers and Twins, no score. That's Skip Lockwood against Bert Blyleven. Blyleven's going for his 5th win of the year. He was the Rookie of the Year. It was the year the Twins went to the World Series. That was 1970. And top of the 3rd in Kansas City, where they're still taking in the news that their new ballpark won't be ready until next season. Tigers lead the Royals 1-0. That is Mickey Lolich against Roger Nelson. For the Indians in the 7th inning, it will be Chambliss, Nettles, and Johnson. Chambliss is 3 for 3 today with 2 doubles. The 1-0 pitch. Grounder to second. Randall has it and throws him out. 1 out. Here's Greg Nettles. He's 1 for 3. He singled in the first. The 0-2 pitch. In the middle of the plate. Strike 3 called. Here comes the pitching coach, Sid Hudson. That'll be all for Mike Paul. Mike Paul pitched a pretty good game today. 6 2/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs. One of those was unearned. Walked 2, he struck out 3. He looked good today, I thought. They're bringing in Jim Panther to pitch. And they'll be doing a double switch. Replacing the left fielder Tom Grieve with Larry Bittner. Bittner will bat 9th in the batting order, while Jim Panther will be batting 6th. Panther's making his 13th appearance of the year. He has no wins, 1 loss, and 1 save, an ERA of 3.74. He's pitched 21 2/3 innings. He's given up 24 hits. One of those is a home run. He walked 13, and he has struck out 12. Panther got into 2 games with Oakland in 1971. Pitched 4 innings for them. I believe he was involved in the trade for Denny McLain. Denny McLain was a bit of a bust with the Senators, and him and Ted Williams butted heads all year. Yeah, he was traded by Oakland with Don Stanhouse to Texas for McLain. Oh, Don Stanhouse. I think he may be back in the minors now. Yeah, I can't remember if he was injured or sent down. I think he was sent down to Denver. But he was a guy, I always hated seeing him come into a game because he just took forever when he was pitching. His stand-the-man unusual antics. I didn't like him very much. I've never been big on like colorful relief pitchers. They usually tend to irritate me. Panther pitched a third of an inning last night. And he pitched an inning and a third against Cleveland 2 weeks ago, where he gave up 3 hits and 1 unearned run. 2 outs, and Alex Johnson's the hitter. He's 0 for 3 today. The 0-2 pitch. Grounder to short. Hera has it. Throws him out. 3 outs. Excuse my editorializing about relief pitchers. Colorful players usually, I don't know. I like guys that don't talk much and just go out there and play hard. My favorite member of the 1990s Indians was Albert Bell. All right, we go to the 8th inning. It will be Len Randall, Larry Bittner, and Dave Nelson for Texas. Randall is 1 for 2 with a double. He had Texas's first hit. That was back in the 3rd inning. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fosse dropped it, so he had to throw him out. 1 out. Here is Larry Bittner. He's hitting .226, 1 home run, 5 runs batted in. Bittner was a highly touted rookie for Washington last year. He ended up hitting .284 in 197 at-bats. Ted Williams was kind of impressed with his swing. He is 2 for 3 in 3 games against the Indians. In fact, he was 1 for 1 as a pinch hitter yesterday. He's or no, he came in as a defensive replacement yesterday. So he's 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter. The 0-2 pitch. Grounder back to the mound. Perry takes it himself. He's going. Bittner's racing him to the bag. And he's out. 2 outs. That brings up Dave Nelson, who's 0 for 3. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 9 for Gaylord Perry. Nothing across for Texas in the 8th. Bottom of the 8th, Cleveland leads 2-0. It'll be Fosse, Bell, and Duffy in the 8th. Ray Fosse leads off. He's 1 for 3 with a double. Doubled last time up in the 6th. Double and he scored. He scored on a wild pitch. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. That brings up Buddy Bell, who's 0 for 3. The 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Bell strikes out. I don't know if you've noticed, but this season, Buddy Bell's wearing number 9. He is not wearing the 25 that he wore most of his career with the Indians. Here's Frank Duffy. He's 1 for 3 with a single. The 2-2 pitch. Grounder to second. Randall has it and throws him out. 3 outs. We go to the 9th. Cleveland leads 2-0. Toby Harrah leads off for Texas in the ninth. He's 1 for 3 with a double. The 3-2 pitch. Base hit in the center field. Harrah rounds first. He slides into second. He's safe with a double. That's his second double of the game. That brings up Dick Billings, who's 0 for 3. Check the swing. They appeal. Ball 1. Got the inside corner. Strike 1. Strike 2 called. Steve McGorry's warming up for the Indians. 2 high, ball 2. Grounder back to the mound. Perry looks Harrah back. And he tosses a Chambliss at first for 1 out. That brings up Don Mincher, who's 0 for 1, or 0 for 3. Low, ball 1. Another one that's low, ball 2. Perry is not throwing with the same velocity he was earlier in the game. High and outside, ball 3. Caught the inside corner, strike 1. Ball 4. Spitball, I don't know. Here comes Ken Aspromonte. That'll be all for Gaylord Perry. They're giving him a big hand here. Coming in to pitch is Steve McGorry. He's making his 6th appearance of the year. He has a record of 1-0. ERA of 2.25. He has 4 innings pitched. He's given up 4 hits. One of those a home run. He's walked 4. He struck out 2. Ted Ford will be the first batter to face him. He is 0 for 2 today with a walk. Jim Panthers on deck. Curveball. Strike 1 called. 2 high, ball 1. Low, way inside. Fosse gets past Fosse. But he's able to get it. Harrah stays at second. So it's 2-1. Base hit in the right field. Bell up with it. Throws it back in. That loads the bases with 1 out. Pitch hitting for Jim Panther will be Elliot Maddox. Maddox is hitting .321 with no home runs, 3 runs batted in. As a pinch hitter, he's hitting .286 with 1 RBI. 2 for 7 as a pinch hitter. That's high, ball 1. 2 high, ball 2. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Up around the shoulders, ball 3. Full, 3-1. Ball 4, forces in a run. It's 2-1 Cleveland. Ed Farmer warms up. Gets up to warm up. Here's Joe Lovito. He's 0 for 3. They pull the infield in. He's 0 for 1 with the bases loaded. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Fouls it back, strike 2. Change up, ball 1. Liner down at third base line, that's foul. Ooh, this is looking like a 1971 game. Ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Low and outside, ball 3. Full count. Pops it up. First base side. Foul ground. Chambliss is after it. Can he get it? Can he get it? Oh, makes the seats. Ball 4. Oh, scores it. Drives to the tying run. Here comes Aspermani. That'll be all for Mingori. Ed Farmer's coming in to pitch. So Gaylord Perry cannot get the win today. And I don't think he could be charged with the loss either. He was responsible for 2 base runners. Ed Farmer making his 7th appearance of the year. He is 1-0 with an ERA of 3.21. In 14 innings, he's given up 14 hits. He's walked 7, he struck out 8. Ugh. He has had this game. It's like 1971 all over again. Len Randall, he is 1 for 3. He had a double. He had the first hit of the game for Texas. Caught the inside corner, strike 1. Low and away, ball 1. Grounder to third, Nettles. Throws to the plate, to first. Double play. 5-2-3 double play, but Texas gets 2 runs, 2 hits. No errors. They left 1 on base. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's tied 2-2. Paul Lindblad's coming in to pitch for Texas, making his 10th appearance of the year. He has a record of 1-1 with an ERA of 2.27. 12 innings pitched. He's given up 11 hits, 1 home run. He's walked 7. He struck out 7. Leading off is Eddie Leone. He's 0 for 1 with 2 walks today. The 0-2 pitch. Base hit into left field. Pinch running for Leone is John Lowenstein. Pinch hitting for Ed Farmer is Tom McCraw. McCraw's hitting .333, 3 home runs, 8 runs batted in. As a pinch hitter, he's hitting .625 with 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in. He's having a great week. He's hit a home run in his last 3 games. He's a 4-game hitting streak going. He is 5 for his last 6 as a hitter. Yesterday he had a double and a home run. He's 5 for 8 as a pinch hitter. Fly ball down the left field line. Hooking, foul. Fly ball to center field. Levito going back. Gone! Another home run for Tom McCraw. Indians win 4-2. Indians had 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. They left 8 men on base. Texas had 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. They left 6 men on base. Ed Farmer's the winner. He is 2-0, while Lindblad takes the loss. He's 1-2. Star of the game is Gaylord Perry. Perry pitched 8 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned. He walked 2. He struck out 9. Migori had a tough outing today. He faced 4 batters. He gave up 1 hit and walked 2. Well, let me see. I thought he, 1, 2. No, he faced 3 batters. One of them was racing a double play. Tom McCraw, the hero of the game again. Hit his 3rd pinch hit home run of the week, and the second one that ended the game. He was 1 for 1 with a home run and 2 runs batted in, while Chris Chambliss went 3 for 4 with 2 doubles. Toby Harrah of the Rangers went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. It was a good pitcher's duel against Gaylord Perry and Mike Paul. You could see where Paul had a good year with Cleveland last year. And Perry looked good. He just started, got a little tired in the 9th inning. Possibly with the amount of pitches he threw to get the 9 strikeouts. Paul got into pitching trouble a couple times, was able to pitch his way out of a couple jams. Both the runs he gave up, one was on a pass ball, one was on a wild pitch. And then McCraw took Paul Lindblad deep for the game-winning home run. I don't know. That would have been pretty exciting to see down at the stadium. Another nice game from the Indians. We'll be here tomorrow for the final game of this 3-game set, where it looks like it will be Bill Gogoleski going for Texas against Dick Tidrow for Cleveland. Once again, our final score today, Cleveland 4 on a dramatic 2-run pinch hit home run by Tom McCraw, and Texas 2. Hope you enjoyed this exciting game. Thank you for watching.